You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
So here's something a bit unexpected. Almost 4 in 10 Scots don't actually know the date of St. Andrew's Day. Yes, the National Day of Scotland, celebrated every single year, and still a large chunk of people either mix it up or can't quite remember when it actually falls. This came out in a national survey carried out by Scott Pulse and commissioned by Aldi, and the results genuinely surprised a lot of people. According to the research, most Scots recognize St. Andrew's Day as the country's national day, but around 39% admit they're unsure of the date. Even more interesting, only about 1 in 4 Scots say they celebrate it at all, despite the day being held every year on November 30th. And the confusion doesn't stop at simple forgetfulness. Some people even picked November 31st, which of course isn't a real date. Others confused it with Burns Night, which happens in January. Clearly, there's a bit of a national mix-up happening. The survey revealed some patterns too. Women were slightly more likely than men to know the correct date. Younger Scots, especially those aged 16 to 34, were the least likely to answer correctly. It's possible that while many people grew up hearing about the day, fewer actually mark it in their calendar or celebrate it in any special way. Aldi Scotland's regional managing director, Sandy Mitchell, spoke about how important the day is for reflecting on Scotland's heritage. He mentioned how surprised they were at the level of uncertainty surrounding the date, considering how central St. Andrew's Day is to the cultural calendar. And to help bring a bit more attention back to the celebration, Aldi has even created what they call the Andrew-approved feast, based on the opinions of hundreds of Andrews, Andys, and Drews across Scotland. The top picks were very traditional: haggis bonbons for starters, steak pie as the main, crispy roast tatties on the side, Scottish apple crumbles for dessert, and, of course, IRN brew for the drink. But beyond the survey, the day itself carries deep history. St. Andrew's Day, also known as the Feast of St. Andrew, or Andermus, is observed every year on November 30th and is believed to honor the date of St. Andrew's martyrdom. While he has been recognized as Scotland's patron saint for centuries, the day only began to be officially celebrated around the 18th century, and since 2006 it has been a Scottish bank holiday. St. Andrew was one of the apostles, the older brother of St. Peter, and a fisherman from Galilee. His story stretches across early Christianity, and his influence reached places like Ukraine, Romania, and Russia, which also honor him as their patron saint. Pieces of his relics, including a fragment of his shoulder blade, are even kept in Edinburgh. His connection to Scotland also ties deeply into national symbolism. The saltire, the country's iconic flag, comes from the legend of King Oengus II, who saw clouds form the shape of an X in the sky before winning a battle, a sign he believed came from the saint himself. So while not everyone remembers the date, the legacy of St. Andrew's Day runs far deeper than a simple mark on the calendar. It's a moment for Scotland to celebrate its identity, culture, traditions, and the stories that shaped the nation. Stay subscribed for more videos.